for coming. This is an incredible turnout. I'm not surprised. I'm Karen Clark. I have the pleasure of running this gallery and working with the wonderful Adam Grosowsky. Actually, this year marks our 20th year of representing him. And I think just a lot of shows, a lot of painting through the night to get to make these shows happen. And I think back to the 90s when I was a student in his painting class for a couple of terms, and it's so interesting how life unfolds. I was also a student of Craig Spillman's, who I represent, and
there he is.
There he is. And so it's so wonderful to see you all here today. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking.
I'm going to hug Craig.
He's going to ramble on. I also wanted to point out I'm joined here tonight with wonderful help in the gallery.
All right.
I've got Sylvie Peterson. I've got Heather Glenn.
What's that? Creaking
Line.
yeah.
I have Carla Zimmerman over here. And anyway, so lots of people to answer your questions later on. But anyway, Adam's going to give remarks and then open it up to any questions. Take it away, Adam. Let's welcome him.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming out on this Friday Eugene night or whatever. Trying to remember my lines. I've been rehearsing them all day. First thing is, I want to thank everybody the crew that works here. Like, this is a ship that's been sailing for a long time, and lately there's, and there's some new additions to the crew. So there's AA, and there's Sylvie, and now there's Carla that is doing a fantastic job keeping this ship rolling. So, huge thanks to them. Yeah, there we go. And I do this every year, but it's just so, so hard to believe. I just want, you have to thank everybody that has, supported you. God damn it. I'm in the end. So many years, so many people, so many clients, so many people that are paying money to buy paintings and support the gallery. And sit up straight, son. Thank you. It's from the bottom of my heart, and there's so many, Francina right now, so many people, so much history. I mean, it's crazy. But, okay. Now, I've never done this before either. This is brand new, so you're going to do it with me. We're all going to do it together. I don't make toast. I've never made a toast. And I don't even have any alcohol in my hand right now. But we can all pretend we have a glass in our hand. And, no, don't spill it all over myself. But I would like us all to raise a glass to Karen Clark.
All right.
Who is the most courageous, beautiful, hardworking, intelligent human.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, this is your talk.
Not me, though.
Okay.
I'm just saying it, and it's been a brutal couple years, and she's killing it. We're here. We're all here. We're all here.
We're all here.
We're all here, and we should all move forward, no matter what the fuck happens, and just move forward. So raise your glass or imaginary glass.
Thank you. And thank you all.
That's all I got.
Let's open it up to some questions.
Oh yeah. Shit, yeah. Okay, now I'm good.
I know there were some good questions
I'm good.
brewing.
I'm good.
So I have a question.
Get it, baby.
So many, we follow you with your work, and some of us have a lot of your work in our homes.
Yes, thank you.
But and it's such a pleasure because you kind of take us through growing up together in so many ways.
Right.
But this body of work is unique, it's different. Can you tell us how you put your arms around this body of work? Like, are there different themes, or is there some points of awareness that you want to draw our attention to as we're looking at it?
Oh my God, that's such a hard question. I think, you have your lexicon of images that you make and kind of a set of themes and figures or landscapes or, without waxing too philosophical, I mean, just when you get to my age or any, it's just there seems to be a lot of mortality floating around, or whatever. You just get closer to the end and the beginning or whatever, and
Do you feel like that makes it more precious?
well, that's what it's, there's this weird quotes, I'm not that much of a classicist or whatever, but I kind of love that stuff or whatever, and the latest one is there's this poem, some British dude, of course, some Brit motherfucker, whatever, but it's called Horatio at the Gates, and he says for every human being on earth, death cometh soon or late. And how can man find a better death than facing fearful odds for the ashes of his fathers and the temples of his gods? Which, when you think about it, I was like, what does that mean, or whatever? But the odds are always fearful, and you could die when you're 5, you could die when you're 16, you could die when you're 80, and then I think he's saying, I don't know, academics or whatever, but it seemed to me that he's kind of saying that you have your DNA that's in your body that you came on the earth with, that you're moving down the road with, or you have your belief, the temples of your gods. I thought, I'm not really into religion or any of that shit or whatever, but I think religion is just, humans have belief structures that are they're like paintings or whatever. They're built of triangles and rectangles and columns. Some of the paintings have columns in them, like temples, Greek temples or whatever. I mean, I think people just, that's what you have at the end of the day. You have your DNA, and you have the belief systems that you came on the earth with, and eventually you're going to die. You might die young, you might die old or whatever, and that's what there is. I mean, so I don't know if that's answering your question or whatever, but that's what I've been thinking about a lot. Everybody's getting old. Short answer. Yes.
What is your story about Kestrel?
Oh, Kestrel is, I know, I thought about that. It's like, dude, that's a lot of, people are getting sick of birds, and they're getting sick of birds of prey or whatever.
Why a Kestrel?
Well, because when I was young, and I was thinking about it today, I remember Christmas coming, and my parents and I had 2 older sisters, and they always got the good shit at Christmas, like you had to wait, and they got stereos, before I got a stereo or whatever, and I would wait, and then I would go up, they had their albums that they got, Cat Stevens, Neil, all these, and I would go, when they left, I would sneak into their room and listen and play their albums or whatever, and there was a Cat Stevens album that had this song called The First Cut is the Deepest, and I was so into Birds of Prey when I was little, like I just, some weird set of stuff happened, and my dad hooked me up with somebody, and I got into it. And, when you find something that you really love when you're young, I mean, just, which were these kestrels or whatever, you know, when you're a starting falconer, you get the smallest little bird you can get or whatever. It just, you know, changes your whole life or whatever. They're just, so, you know, you kind of go back to that thing that, you know, then I realized falconry is kind of bad and captivity is bad or whatever, but you never forget, you know, you just don't forget. Is there one painting here that you secretly hope doesn't sell so you can keep it? You know, I've been thinking about that a lot, and it's, I've thought about how many hundreds and hundreds of paintings I've sold, and then I realized the ones I keep in my house, or whatever, just for some weird reason, they don't sell. And I remember looking at this book of Degas, it's called Degas, like the paintings he had in his house at the end of his life or whatever, and it's like, these suck. Dude, like, why did he keep these or whatever? And I think probably the only ones that didn't sell. But they were actually, when you start looking at them, you realize they're like really deep paintings or whatever that other people just didn't appreciate, and he did, or whatever. You know, I'm always happy to have paintings go to somebody else's house. And it's funny because this one, which I did for maybe, I don't even know, but my sense of time these days is getting so scrambled, but you know, the bottom part of the polar bear painting was, and I had it in my house, I don't have any paintings left, so you just take whatever's left and put it in your house. And it's like, oh my God, I love that painting, but it's kind of scrunched and it needs something and whatever, put something on the top of it or whatever, and maybe I fucked up totally. But you know, when you live with paintings when they're in your house and you see them every day and you wake up with them and you sleep with them or whatever, it's and again, it's all history. It reminds me of, you know, Karin knows, like Karin sold this painting ages ago and somebody brought it back, and then you know, it's just years of stuff, and you know, going out to people's houses, and you realize people have to like what they're, you know, they want to like what they're getting. So.
I have a question.
Yes.
So you're working.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Do I know you?
Yeah, I took your class with.
About 5 at a time. So what, your question is what? It's probably going to be a good one.
Oh no, it's going to be a student's question. Anyway, your work is so narrative, and I think that really makes people relate to it. But you have these iconic images like the circus kind of idea, and I'm wondering if your people are people that you have in your life.
You know, for a crazy student, that's a pretty good question. You know, they say that all painting is autobiographical or whatever, so in a way, anything you touch, anything you do, any words you speak, or any marks you make are probably from your own history or whatever. The circus is an endless, and because I did the wire walking thing or whatever, it was deeply meaningful to me, but circuses are crazy and weird and fucked up if you've ever been to a real one. In the old days, you know, they're like elephants shitting and skank chicks fucking whirling around or whatever. They're not as cool as everybody makes the circus seem to be, but they're also amazing. I mean, the circus is amazing, and you know, the things that people do in the circus are important to me or whatever. So it's, but you're not gonna trap me with that question. Carry on. Somebody else. Next. I want Andrew to ask me a question because he's the smartest guy.
Well, I was impressed by how a lot of your people are seen from behind. It gives these pieces like a monumental kind of mysteriousness. It reminds me a little bit of some of the surrealist pictures and people like that. But so that's not really a question. It's just a comment.
Yeah. It's easier to paint people from behind.
Yeah.
Don't have to work as hard. No. Yeah, that's a good. It's funny, like 2 years ago, another really healthy dude I know came to, and that's the exact same comment he made. He said, a lot of the people are seen from the back. So I don't know what that means.
I like it, I don't know what it means, but I like it.
Yeah. Come on, somebody, bring it on.
I have a
Not getting any
question.
younger over here.
You paint Miranda a lot,
Yes,
and see her in many of your paintings.
yes.
Is there any particular reason for that?
Because she was a student in my class, and she was one of the most attractive humans you'll ever see. And we can get into that conversation about females and whatever. I didn't sleep with her. I didn't have anything to do with her.
She's a friend of mine.
Oh, well, you know that. And she, I knew I took, I always paid, I'll give you $500 for half an hour's work or whatever, at laying, and I knew when I looked at the photos that came out, I just thought that's my entire career right there. I can sell paintings from how beautiful you are, her face, her body, or whatever, she just, and that's a whole nother conversation about pretty things or whatever, and whether it's sick or fucked up or whatever, but I don't know, and she's just an absolutely stunning, beautiful human being, and she's, I can't tell you how many paintings I've sold of her, and it's part of.
Is Miranda in the room? In one
No,
of
she's
these?
not in the room, she doesn't.
She's at my house.
No, I don't mean.
Here.
No, I mean the painting.
Here's one.
No, literally, I've sold so many paintings of her face. It's just, pretty things are pretty things. What's a pretty landscape? Why are things pretty, beautiful, or what they just are, and that's what you're kind of, I don't know, just want to make beautiful things, and people want to put them on their walls, and, it's kind of, and why some people, and she's probably, you could just tell she was an awesome human being. She's like a good human, so it just radiates out of her or whatever.
And the contrast, she has there's a natural contrast that I think because of the dark hair.
Yeah, well, she's a good looking piece of horse flesh, whatever you call it.